Thanks for having me. What's that sound?
Oh, it's just the tub.
So why haven't you fixed it?
This episode is called My Leaky Tub. Bathing is important. If you don't bathe, you stink. You stink, people avoid you. When people avoid you, you have no friends. And so on and so forth. Since bathing is so important, one would assume everyone would have at least one room dedicated to it. The bathroom. And in the bathroom, there's a tub that you bathe in, or a shower if you're that kind of person. And after you're done bathing, you turn off the water and nothing comes out of the faucet. Unless the faucet is mine. For some reason, my tub seems to always be leaking. All day, all night. Progressively getting leakier and leakier. And it's the hot water that's leaking, so of course, I call maintenance to fix the faucet. And it no longer leaks. Great! Anyways, let me take a shower and... Are you serious? Exactly after one use, my tub begins leaking hot water again. So I call maintenance again, and they fix it. And the tub begins leaking again, so I call maintenance again. And so on and so forth. I've completely lost count of how many times we had to call them to fix the tub. The tub leaks so often, my family had to invent new ways to manage it. Normally, we use a plastic tube and put it up against the faucet so that the water doesn't splash on the floor, but instead slides down and reaches the drain more smoothly. It worked well enough for us, but when the leak became a torrential downpour, the tube stopped working. By that point, we completely turn off all water going to the bathroom unless someone needs to use it, and then we wait until maintenance arrives 5 days later. At this point, even maintenance grew tired of the eternally leaky tub, and apparently they stuck plastic rods inside of the faucets to stop the tub from leaking even more. Well, it failed, and it continued leaking after that. I forgot how long the tub has been leaking. It has to at least be a couple years at this point. Eventually, maintenance gave up on trying to fix the tub, so they called an actual plumber to do the job. So we waited for a couple of days, and the plumber did indeed show up, here to put an end to the endless water flow. And it worked. The plumber fixed the tub, and it didn't leak after a couple uses. This was a miracle. And at last, the leaky tub was finally beaten. Until it began leaking again. Yeah, I don't think my tub is ever gonna stop leaking. This episode is called The Week Without Air Conditioning. During late June or early July, I don't remember which, my area had a heat wave. Normally that means I would turn on the aircon and laze around, but for a few years now, my aircon has slowly become weaker and weaker. Now, this wouldn't normally be a problem, but remember, there was a heat wave. My aircon became completely non-functional exactly when a heat wave began. So of course, I called maintenance to deal with the issue, and then I waited. And then I called them again, and then I waited. And then I called them again, and you get the idea. Apparently my unit wasn't the only one with aircon issues. Everyone else in the building was also suffering through the heat wave with no aircon. All because everyone's aircon has been in use for 30 years and hasn't been fit. So the only way for anyone to get any relief was to loiter around in the hallways because for some reason the hallways were blasting cold air while the rest of the building turned into an oven. But maintenance did promise to bring us a portable aircon to use while we waited, so we waited for that instead. And waited, and waited. We did eventually get the portable aircon, so we put it in the living room and turned it on. Oh my frog, it was the best thing I felt in a long time. Absolutely nothing can make this better. Oh, so the portable aircons? Apparently my breaker box hates it. Every time I turn it on, all the power goes out in 10 minutes. 10 minutes? What? Apparently I'm not even the only one with this problem. It takes only one Google search to see that dozens of other people also suffer from this. Who designed portable aircon to be like this? So we ended up not using the portable aircon. Triggering the breaker is not worth 10 minutes of slightly colder air. So we waited until maintenance arrived. And we waited and waited. Eventually, maintenance did show up surprisingly, and after tinkering at it for a bit, told us that the aircon was at the end of its life, so they left, promising a brand new central aircon. So we waited for not that long, actually. The new central air showed up the next day, and then it was installed by actual HVAC people, not maintenance. Then they took away the old central air. I don't know where they took it, probably to a facility to properly dispose of it. But now we have good air conditioning, so we'll be able to survive the rest of the heat wave comfortably. And then the heat wave immediately ended. It's actually been kinda cold where I live ever since. Moving on. This episode is called The Not Cold Refrigerator. This is gonna be a short one. One day, my mom opened the fridge to find it warmer than usual. She declared it a big problem, which is reasonable, so I called maintenance again. But then my mom turned the fridge from cold to colder, and that set the fridge temperature back to normal. And mom remembered that she did this a few years ago, so we didn't actually have to call maintenance. Then surprisingly, maintenance actually showed up. So I told them that we already dealt with the issue. Then they left. I told you this was a short one. This episode is called The Suprise Paint. One day, when returning home, my family noticed a tag on the door. Maintenance showing up at 9 a.m. on
Insert date.
What is this? We wanted to go to the leasing office to ask them what this was about, but the leasing office was already closed by now. So time skipped to the next day and my brother went to the leasing office. Apparently, maintenance was coming to paint over the ceiling of the bathroom. This was surprising, since no one called them to do it. I guess they just got tired of seeing all the mold spots in our bathroom. Every single time we had to call them. But I don't think you're supposed to deal with mold spots by painting them over. That doesn't get rid of the mold, it just covers it up. The paint guy asked us to move our towels and toiletries out of the bathroom as he didn't want to ruin our stuff. Which is fair, so we moved them to the living room for the time being. But since my living room is also the dining room and we were gonna have lunch soon, I asked how long it would take for the paint to dry. He told me that it would take 5 hours. Which was surprising, I didn't think paint would take that long to dry. Anyways, my mom was worried that formaldehyde was in the paint, so she sent me to ask the paint guy. Because she doesn't know English, even though she's lived almost half of her life in the States. So I asked the paint guy if formaldehyde was in the paint, and he said,
No, but there's latex in it.
So I told my mom that there was no formaldehyde, and she was relieved. We didn't worry about the latex because no one in our family had a latex allergy, and hey, Google says that latex paint takes 1 hour to become dry to the touch, which seemed accurate. The paint did stop dripping out around that time. Then the paint guy left, and he left the bathtub somewhat dirty, which bothered my mom. I didn't really care that much. I just wish they didn't just cover up the problem. But that's classic apartment behavior. Oh well. This episode is called The Putty Wall. This one is also short, because it was so long ago that I can't remember any details about it. One day, my family noticed water damage on the walls of the living room, so I called maintenance. Apparently, the people living above us had some bathroom issues or something. I don't really remember, but whatever it was soaking our walls, and it might get moldy. So maintenance fixed the problems upstairs, told us that the wall must wait until dry to be repaired, and so we waited until the wall dried. Then maintenance showed up, surgically removed the damaged drywall, and proceeded to do some questionable wall repairs. On second thought, it wasn't as questionable as I thought. I'm not kidding! They slattered down a layer of brown putty and then a layer of what's probably white paint or plaster. Then they called it a day. Shouldn't they at least put in a new drywall sheet or something? But then again, what was I expecting? I told you this was a short one. I guess flats just have mediocre maintenance staff. No wait, the staff is just underfunded and understaffed. I'm fairly certain that most of the vents in this video have the same maintenance guy involved, and that's because my mom bothered to pay attention to who's fixing our stuff. I never really bothered to remember their faces. There are some other stories I didn't talk about, like the one about the pipe that burst above my parents' room, and the water began leaking through the lights. I actually don't remember that one happening at all, and the only reason I know it happened is because I ran out of stories to tell for this video, and asked my parents for more to jog my memory. So yeah, that's it. Sorry if the audio starts sounding like ear rape at the end. I'm still trying to figure out how to make my voice sound passable. And I'm probably speaking way too close to the mic. And it's also probably because I recorded this in multiple takes. Anyways, thank you for watching my video. Please like, share, comment, and subscribe, as I'm still starting out at this point, and every single contribution counts. Have a nice day, and goodbye! Wait, you're still here? Well, thank you for watching the credits, even though there's nothing here but me rambling. I guess I'm supposed to ask you to click the videos above, but at the time of recording, there's nothing else to watch. Except for that one video about superheroes I privated because no one watched it. Well, there is a list of random subscribers at the bottom left for you to see. Or at least, the ones I can see the names of. And that currently is just Provec. Hopefully you also subscribe so that you can also be added to the list. And there's nothing else here. And I also don't think I can stall any further to appease the YouTube algorithm. I would probably start slurring if I go any further. So I guess goodbye for now and have a good day, my pollywogs. Austin out.